gotta get it running as best as I can get it running before I can actually start recording or call it good. I think it might be working now. Okay. That'll be good. Alright. Okay, assuming we don't have any more issues. Assuming we don't have any more issues. And I'm hoping for a miracle. But, got my, it's a Sigmar black, but, any black will do, as long as it's black. It's just something to, get a base coat with. And we're gonna base coat, really nice thin base coat over all of the flesh. And because it's black going over black, you don't even need to be that. It's like you can do it really thin. It'll cover pretty well. But this just gives me and you and anyone doing this. All this does is give you a black base coat that you can actually paint with, as opposed to the black you're using as your base coat as your primer, or your undercoat as your primer. When you do that, it's a lot harder to match it. There are some paint companies that make 100% matches to certain primers and stuff like that. Like, for instance, if you were doing this with GW paints, you probably could do the Chaos Black spray primer without too much of an issue. I might remove him from this stand too. We'll see. Try to keep hairs from getting in there. But as I said, I'm not following the painting guide 100%. As you already see, I want to do mostly black flesh, and because I think it's going to we're gonna have a little bit of a cooler look doing it this way. I try my best to stay on camera, because as far as painting tutorials go, this is basically going to be it. It's going to be directly taken off stream, probably thrown on YouTube. At the moment, there's not too many more options I can do until I get my computer fixed. Unfortunately, my computer is better than this laptop, even though this is a newer laptop, but just for a lot of the work I do and a lot of the video processes that I run, and just not quite gonna do it. And while yes, I am something you want to keep in mind while going over this. It's like you do still want to keep it smooth, so that's why we got it going on a real thin layer. Though, when you do this, if you do pay close enough attention, and you look around and watch, you might be able to notice areas that you might have missed or something. They'll probably have a different sheen than the rest of the model, because even slight variations in the black tone can be noticeable. I'm doing it down here too, once again, because it's just something to come back to. Even though my plan is that it's going to be, I'm going to do kind of what they do with the Khorgorath in the traditional paint scheme, but it's going to be black in the center, and it's going to go out, and we're going to have it's going to go out to a dullish dark red out here. On the extremities. So that's what my present plan. And part of the reasoning is I don't want to do what everyone else is doing. And second it is that you're going to learn different things if I do different things. So that's what I want to do. I want to teach you something. I want to teach you something different, not something you already know. And you already know what they've covered, what like GW's covered and stuff like that. I don't think it got underneath here very well. Okay. Keep doing this, going around. It's okay if you cut areas more than once, as long as you make sure you get everything. You're good. And you'll be doing this with a bigger brush. I'm just doing it with this size brush because I want to make sure I get in all the details. And still don't have AC or anything really to cool us down in this house. Yeah, that's one thing I haven't mentioned yet. In this new place, we don't have air conditioning yet. There's a central AC unit connected to the house that doesn't work. And talked to our landlords about it. And their first solution was to send us a window AC unit, which I appreciate it, but we actually are borrowing a window AC unit from someone already, and it's in the only window in the entire place that can accept it, which is upstairs away from where I'm painting. Alright, I believe I've covered all the areas that are going to be this flesh color. They're going to be this black flesh color with the black undercoat. Okay. Okay. The next step is to determine the area that you're going to be switching from black to red after all the black's dry. There's some areas still on it. The black's not dry quite yet. Let that black finish drying though. In the meantime, double check, make sure there's any areas I missed. I might have missed up in there a little bit actually. I mean, the nice thing about the heat is that it drives the mini paint on the mini faster, but that doesn't help me with the fact that it drives the paint on my palette a lot faster too. Alright. But yeah. Anyways, for the working on the transition from black to red, got myself my bottle of Scarlet Red out. I'll put that on my wet palette. Tips. Dry though. Let's get that on my wet palette. Let's see, got it on my wet palette. And thin it a little bit. So that's a really dull red. It's kind of almost like corn red, which is fine. That's what I want. Anyways, take it and start it out. A little bit of black and mix that in with it. And get it more like that. Okay. So you can see, mix some black into there. And mixing the black in there gets it closer to a color that we're going to want to put the transition between the black and the red. So anyways, it's going to be pretty thin, and you want it pretty thin. But just figure out around where you want to start making that transition. And that's where we'll start applying the red. And figure I do it around here on the legs. Don't worry too much about the transition quite yet. We'll work on that. But this is the start of it. So apply a thin layer of it. Let's say further steps. Will help define the colors and stuff like that. But at least for now, this is actually a really, really good start. What are you watching, buddy? What are you watching? I don't know what you're watching. I just want you to tell me. It's Rugrats. Yes, it's the Rugrats movie. That word is Rugrats. Why is it scaring you?
How can babies fly?
They really can't.
Yeah, and that was showing that they
Well, Dante, it's fantasy. It's not real. You're not supposed to take it seriously. Can I ask you a question, Dante? In the other shows you watch, how do Legos talk and move? Because you watch shows where Legos talk and move. Well, they don't in real life.
yeah, I like that.
Okay, well, yeah, babies don't drive in real life. It's not real life now, is it? 'Cause you're not wrong, but you know it's TV. Do you understand?
Is it near lunchtime?
No, not quite yet.
Like Garfield, cats can't talk.
Well, Garfield doesn't really talk. So Garfield doesn't really talk.
What do we do?
He thinks.
But he talks sometimes.
Yeah, but not really.
That is
Okay, Dante. In Garfield, does John understand what Garfield says? In Garfield, does John understand what Garfield says? Okay, the correct answer is no. You know who John is, right?
he's a person.
Yeah. He doesn't understand what Garfield says.
Only Garfield knows what he's saying.
It's more like it's more like animal communication. They're animals that talk to each other in that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they got a little bit right.
Okay, well, yeah, animals understand each other in that show. And the show is made so that we understand Garfield. But guess what? The humans don't understand Garfield. John doesn't. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, okay. That's all I'm saying.
Like Iron Man and all other superheroes stuff, superheroes play them, but they don't.
Yeah, but... Wait, did you mean in real life? It's really hard for superheroes to exist in real life. A lot of things superheroes do aren't really legal. Yeah, but that's supposed to be the job of the police and the military and stuff like that. Know what I'm saying? Yeah. Superheroes superheroes don't exist in real life for a reason. Because a lot of well, for one, if you tried to be a vigilante, you're more likely to get shot by the police than thanked. You know what I mean? Yeah. What? What's the point of them? Like, why did we watch them? Because it's fun to have fantasy. Things that aren't real that we can pretend are. Yeah. Yeah, it's fantasy, Dante. People enjoy fantasy. Yes. Exactly. We'll go with the explanation you just made for yourself. Okay. And he's 12? Why is he 12? Alright. Holy cow, I got 6 people watching me. Assuming Garfield. Try to make it a little bit more even, though it's not necessary. Not 100% necessary. Great place to start, though. 7! Holy cow. Hope they're not all bots. Alright. Yeah, it would be, but as I said, that causes problems. Alright. Alright. What would I do if I was a superhero? I don't know. I'd make sure you and Mommy were always safe. Alright, now I'm just going to put straight scarlet red on my palette. Thin it down quite a bit. What would you do if you were a superhero?
I would make a Batman suit and make a whole jacket.
Okay. I'm going to take straight scarlet red. Start going over the areas went over before. I'm going to pull it down. More. And don't worry, this doesn't look super reddish yet. We'll get there. But, okay, do you understand that I am trying to work, right? Okay, you need to stop asking me questions then. Maybe when I'm done, yes. Anyways, we take the scarlet red and work on the areas below. Not quite up to where we were before. Pull down. Work downwards. As I said, don't worry about it not being super red yet. This is just to enforce an area that we're going to be working in. That's why I'm not even worried about it being a little bit blotchy either. As I said, it's just to establish the area that will be red. Anyways, welcome to anyone if this is your first time watching me. I'm sorry if it's not super interesting, but a lot of the interesting stuff comes from interaction, so I can see the chat. For the most part. So, if you have any questions, you can always ask. Do my best to answer them. Like, how come Garfield ate that in one bite? Because he's fat, Dante. That's like always the good joke with Garfield. He's fat. Yes. Yes, he's a fat cat. Sarah's not fat. Yeah, Mommy's wrong. Mommy just likes being mean to Daddy's kitty. I don't like being mean to Garfield. Not being mean to Garfield. Garfield's fat. That's like the joke. The joke is he's fat.
It's
Alright. Anyways, the area is established, even though it's kind of a pinkyish red. It's okay. It's good for the fade. And our next major step's a wash anyways. So it's going to get dulled down a lot. And then when we go back to build it back up, we're going to use more vibrant reds. Like either Mephiston red or Scarlet red, or like Mephiston red and Gore red or something like that. I'm actually going to pull down Scorn red, and I'm going to use that to build up on top of this. So it's going to end up looking more like a vibrant red, different than this, different than the Scarlet red color turns out. But this is a good start to the transitions. As I said, what we're going to do now is we're going to go and we're going to get a wash, and I'm going to use I am going to use Bad Ab Black. It's Bad Ab Black, right? No, Null and Oil. Not Bad Ab Black. Let me go grab that. All my paints are on a shelf over in the corner, so they're away from the work area. I can't take the microphone with me. I'll be right back. Alright, I got my Null and Oil. Alright. If you wanted to, you could start the highlighting on the black a little bit. But I'm going to forego that for now. I'm going to get a bigger brush. Not horribly large, but a bigger brush. Where are you? I had a specific brush in mind. I don't know where it is. There you are. There are any areas that are not dry. Let them dry. Like, here's not quite dry, I don't think. No, it's dry. It just doesn't look that way because it's pooled a little bit. But that's okay. We're going to be taking straight Null and Oil out of the pot. And we're going to be applying it on this guy. And we're actually probably going to end up doing 2 coats of this. You don't have to do it all over the model. Do it mostly in the areas where you want, where the red is and where the transitions are. So, you know, go up and down. You can always reinforce the black, but I'm going to do it over the whole guy just so that we don't have any weird lines between the colors. And as I said, like, it's going to get at least 1 wash of Null and Oil. if not 2. Let's keep moving it around. So you're happy with the saturation. As I said, that's 1 or 2 washes. It entirely depends on how it looks after the wash dries. But this will help give you that transition between the black and the red. So that helps to find those areas. As I said, yeah. Not much else I could think of saying at this exact moment. And yes, don't worry. Gotta look at it first, and then after I'm done putting this on him, putting the Bad Black on him, I'm gonna have to take a break, or I'm gonna have to switch to a different model, one of the two, because this is gonna need time to dry, and unlike just regular paint, washes, these acrylic washes dry funny if you attempt to use a hair dryer on them. They don't dry quite right, and because of that, I don't want to do that. It can ruin the effect you're going for and ruin the look. So I just have to let it dry naturally over time. And this is why I didn't care about the... Yes, we're mini painters. I said, though, I am going to have to either take a break or switch to a different mini. I'll just switch to a different mini for now, I guess. But, at the current moment, it looks like he might need a second coat, but we'll see. How are you doing today, by the way? Wicked.